Yo, it's Ibetonme. Renegades drop. Half your vault is now bait. Everyone's debating the new meta while using the exact same 3 guns they've been using for seasons. So I'm cutting the cap. I've got 5 weapons that are actually running the Renegades in-game right now. That's great for GMs, raids, dungeons, and if you're not using at least a couple of these, you're trolling yourself. So let's talk about it. But let me be very clear, I'm not doing my favorites, I'm doing what's winning fights. So to make this list, a gun has to be nasty and real in-game activities such as GMs, raids, dungeons, and even just regular activities. Next, they have to be actually obtainable, not some 1 in a billion god roll coping piece. And it has to still cook even if your team's a little scuffed. No, only good if you have a perfect streamer teammate's guns. Alright, so now that I got that out the way, let's get into the list. Now, starting at number 5, we have the Uncivil Discourse, and this thing is a straight up precision demon. So if you like hitting crits and watching health bars evaporate in a single burst, this is your gun. Uncivil's whole gimmick is that heat up and dump playstyle. So you build that heat, you hit your timing, and when you line up those shots, champs and majors just disappear. So it shines in those short DPS windows, also when those champs peak for 2 seconds, then they love to hide, and those moments where you can't commit to a heavy shot, but you still need something dead. Now the downside is, you actually gotta aim. So this is not a brain dead off spray weapon, but if you're confident with your aim, Uncivil Discourse lets you play super greedy and get away with it. And coming in at number 4 is the Peculiar Charm. And I call this weapon the "Why is this gun doing that much damage" legendary. Now this is your workhorse, your glue gun. It doesn't look flashy in the inventory, but in real fights, it just never stops performing. So Peculiar Charms gives you that super comfortable recoil and stability. Perks that keep you in the fight instead of reloading every 5 seconds, and enough damage output to matter in GMs and masters, not just patrols. So if you throw this on with a solid build, you could quietly carry entire encounters. Now if you like guns that just feel right, always seem to have bullets when you need them, Peculiar Charm is your dude. So it's the legendary you build around when you don't want to overcomplicate your loadout. And at number 3, and this one is spicy, the Praxic Blade. This sword came in with Renegades and it actually earned this hype. This ain't your fun exotic you want to use for a week and forget about. This is a heavy slot type meta, even though technically it is a special weapon. So the Praxic Blade gives you stupidly high single target damage when you're in the sweet spot. Also solar synergy that you could plug right into a ton of busted builds. And that I'm in the boss's face and he can't do anything about it power fantasy. So you pop your buffs, get in there, you just start chunking health bars, and if you're on a solo hunter, you already know where I'm going with this. There's a disgusting Praxic hunter build video I'm currently cooking up that turned bosses into free loot. The trade-off is obvious. You have to commit. So you're in melee range, so you can get slapped if you're clueless. However, if you know how to move and you're not scared to get in there, Praxic Blade absolutely warps certain DPS phases. Coming in at number 2 is the Cataphract GL3, strand heavy grenade launcher that's out here straight bullying bosses. And heavy GLs are back in a big way and they are still meta, and the Cataphract is the one sitting on the throne. And here's why: it has great base stats, it feels smooth to shoot, access to those big brain DPS perks, ammo overflowing plus damage stacking, synergy with strand, tangles, suspends, debuffs. It's just a slot that goes into so many builds. Also in coordinated teams, Cataphract GL3 is the one you pull out when you're done playing around. You just want that boss bar gone. You preload, get your perk rolling, and it's just grenade, 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 crit, crit, crit. And compared to most rockets over a full DPS phase, this thing can absolutely embarrass them. That's why it's so high on this list. And coming in at number 1, yeah, you knew this was coming, the Martlet Legendary Pulse Rifle. I'm just gonna say it, the Martlet is the number 1 primary in Destiny 2 right now, and if you're not using it, you're trolling yourself. The Renegades were back in the sandbox where primaries actually matter again. So when you're going against champs, tanky reds, chunky orange bar enemies, if your primary isn't pulling its weight, you feel it instantly. And the Martlet just doesn't pull its weight, it hard carries. So first off, the feel. The Martlet is that pulse that just locks in your hand on the first burst. Recoil kicks straight, the stability's there, the aim assist makes it feel like the game wants you to land every shot. And for a PvP god roll, get you one that has Firefly and also destabilizing round. And I call that the why is everything exploding combo. Because Firefly gives you those big solar explosion on precision kills, and it clears a whole pack of red bar enemies with one burst. And destabilizing rounds means killing one target weakens everything around it, and suddenly your next burst is chunking a whole group. And stack those two together and the Martlet turns into a mini ad clear legendary that feels like an exotic. Now you don't need special, you don't need your heavy, your primary is your ad clear. And it has great build synergy, so it could plug into almost every build. You can even plug it into my Falcons build that I had on my channel the other day. Because Void with Volatile, yeah, the Martlet loves that. It's a Void weapon. So if you see all the Void bursting on enemies in the background, that's from the Martlet and the Void synergy. And here's a link to that video if you do want to watch it. Also, the Martlet with Solar with Radiant and Scorch, even better. Strand or Stasis, slow, lockdown builds, Martlet just clears up whatever abilities touch. And the great thing about this weapon, you don't have to build around it. It just naturally slots into whatever you're already running and makes it stronger. So here's why the Martlet is number one on my list. When you stack everything together, the feel, the perk pool, the consistency, the ad clear potential, Martlet ends up doing something no other primary really does right now. And that's let you play aggressive and safe at the exact same time. Performing red bars, chunky majors, helping on champions, saving heavy ammo, all with one gun. And that's why for me, Martlet isn't just good, it's the number one primary and the number one weapon in this new Renegades meta. Oh yeah, and here's an honorable mention of the weapons that didn't make my meta. So feel free to use these old weapons if you like using them. Because hey, they are meta weapons, but this right here is kind of more of an updated version for the Renegades meta. And if your loadout doesn't touch at least a couple of these, I'm not saying you can't clear content, I'm just saying you're making it harder on yourself for no reason. Also, do me a favor and drop me a comment. Which weapon do you think is secretly meta that I should cover in its own video, or at least just roast it? And if you're a Hunter, Titan, or Warlock, hey, stay locked in. Because I'm going to have some Prasik Blade, Hunter, Warlock, and Titan builds that's coming very soon. Man, these builds are going to be so good, it'll basically feel like war crimes if you decide to use your heavy weapon instead of using these Prasik Blade builds in in-game content. And again, I am Ibetonme. You should too. I'm out. And if you do want to see more Destiny 2 weapon reviews and god roll guides, I would suggest you watch this playlist next. Also, don't forget to like and sub. You guys have a great day. Peace.